talking to you, sitting right there on the couch, sitting in your truck, just fiddling your thumbs. Are you tired of getting inconsistent miles? Are you tired of getting 1 week you get 3,000 miles, the next week you get 1,500, the next week after that you may get like 1,200? Come on, check out Synex Logistics. I am hiring for a Class A CDL driver, $1,200 minimum guaranteed. I'm offering consistent pay. No matter what the miles you get, you're going to make $1,200 every single week. All you have to do is be available with dispatch Monday through Friday, 5 days out of a 7-day week. Easy breezy. That is not a hard accomplishment at all. It's just too easy to get done. So check out Synex Logistics. I'm hiring a Class A CDL driver. If you have 1 year Class A experience, check out Synex Logistics. Hey y'all, what's up? This is Jeremiah with Synex Logistics. I know it's been a while since I shot a video or uploaded a video. I do apologize. I've been busy trying to find another driver for another truck, and my intentions is like being elsewhere. And plus, I got a new dog who I have to walk periodically, and he's taking up pretty much all my time I used to have. Because I gotta either go run him around and get him to run the energy out or something, you know. His name is Bear. I'll show you guys him. He's laying on the floor right there. There he is. His name is Bear. Got him about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And he's been my traveling companion ever since, and he is a handful. He might bark at something or somebody, or, you know, and get fixated. So you might hear him bark. I can't help it. He's just obnoxious. And so I'm here getting loaded. I'm up here in Defiance, Ohio, getting loaded at the terminal. And this load goes to Pennsylvania, but I'm taking this load home this weekend. And I'll deliver it Monday morning. So this is my go home, my 34-hour reset load. So what we're going to talk to you guys today about is we're going to talk about fueling. I know that's a big, huge topic right now with the fuel prices the way they are, how high they're getting, and they look like they're not going down at all. They just keep getting higher and higher. We're going to talk about some tips I got. All right, this week's tip. All right, this week's tip I got for you guys, and we'll see what else we get into. So let's talk about these fuel prices. I know a lot of drivers out there are giving up their trucks, selling everything, and getting out of the trucking industry. And I'm reading a lot of Facebook comments on different groups about drivers complaining about the fuel prices, and a lot of these owner ops are complaining about the freight rates. You know, it's hard. It's hitting me hard too. It's harder to make the money I want to make. I gotta pull more loads. Gotta watch my fueling, and I watch my fueling. Y'all know how I do my fueling. I go by averages, and that's how I fuel my truck. And a lot of these drivers that are complaining about the fuel are the same drivers who are doing 70, 75 down the interstate, who are idling their trucks for no reason when it's nice and cool, who are these are the same drivers who are topping off their tanks and not getting the same amount of money for that same load, and are not adjusting to the climate. So you got to be able to adjust to the climate. You want to fuel your truck, just get enough fuel to get the run done, not to be comfortable, just to get the run done. Like for me, I've been idling my truck, but I also put in an extra. If I knew I was, like earlier this week, I knew I was going to be in my sleeper for like 13 hours. So I put in an extra 13 gallons of fuel in the tank. Or if it was just 10 hours, I put an extra 10 gallons of fuel in the tank. So it didn't affect the fuel I put in to get the run done. So it's just, you got to adjust to the climate. There's no getting around it. You can't fuel your truck, top off your tanks like fuel prices at $2.50 a gallon. You're not going to be able to make no money that way as an owner op, as a lease to purchase. Like for instance, I've been living a good life on the full tank. I've been living it comfortably, but see what I had to do to get to that point. I had a week where I had a very short week. I stayed home Monday for my wife's birthday, and I left out, and I knew I wasn't going to make that much money that week, and so I decided that, you know, if I'm not going to generate nothing to really, you know, write home about. So I decided, you know what, I might as well get something out of this week. So I took the very last load. It was the very last load I took home. Well, I didn't take it home. I delivered it that day. But the very last load was paying $527. That's how much I made off of it. So I subtracted my savings escrow, my maintenance escrow from that amount, and that left me with $500 and something left. So I took that $500 and something I made off that load, and I stopped at the cheapest Loves I found on the way to the delivery, and I put the whole $500 in, and that got me up to full. And so the next load I picked up, I topped it off, and so yeah, it's you gotta sacrifice to live life comfortably. There are a lot of drivers out there, owner ops, complaining about the fuel price after spending upwards of $3,000. I'm spending it upwards. I think the most I've seen since the price went up was $1,939 in spending fuel a week, and I still made a really good check that week. So it can be done. You just got to work a little harder to get it done. So yeah, you just can't fuel your tanks. I was talking to a driver who drove an old classic freight shaker, long nose, and he said his truck gets 5.9 miles per gallon at most. I'm like, ouch. I told him, I said, man, I don't know how you making money with that truck, with the fuel prices the way it is. He's like, I'm not. That's the reason why I'm here. I'm here to come together, take advantage of the fuel discount and better paying loads. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I could do it. Oh, 5.9, I think I'm just trying to trade in that long nose and go get me a plastic truck. Yeah, so I don't know if I'll be able to. 5.9, guys, I don't know if I'll be able to do it. I don't know. I'm like, let's cut my losses right then and there. So it saddens my heart to hear all these owner ops who are getting out of it because of the freight market is dropping and the fuel prices are going up and they're no longer making the same amount. I tell you what, these hard times will get rid of. It gets rid of any owner op just did trucking just to make the money. They're not in it for the long haul. They are just in it strictly for the money. And I'll be honest with you, I'm an owner op myself, but if I was working for somebody like that or an owner op that was just in it for the money, who didn't have the passion, this is not something they grew up wanting to do, it's not in their blood, it's not something they live for, I don't want to work for them because they don't have the passion. To run a business, you have to have a passion for what you're doing, because if you don't have the passion for what you're doing, you're not going to be in it for the long haul. You're going to be in it as long as you can make money. And right now, it's just trying to survive these hard times in this economic climate we are in. And that's what I'm trying to do, is survive these hard times. I can't say that I don't know where my limit is or where my tap out limit is when it comes to the seat to purchase as far as the fuel prices going. But so far I'm still so good, so I have no reason to turn any keys yet. You know, it's still profitable. You just gotta work a little harder. That's all. I ain't scared of hard work. I ain't scared to pull more loads. I ain't scared to be uncomfortable. So yeah, that's my thing on fueling. So I know a lot of these truck drivers getting out of it. Like my man Scoop the trucker, he got out of it because of fuel prices and parking. In my personal opinion, I think he was going about the fueling the wrong way. His calculation was, well, if you get just calculate 6.5 miles per gallon, and then I'll tell you how many gallons you need to get. Well, you might be picking up a light load. You don't need to be getting no 6 point average and figure no fuel mileage based on 6.5. You need to figure out what mileage you're only going to get on those loads. Because you're going to get better than 6.5. Say if you're picking up 10,000 pounds, you're definitely going to get better than 6.5 miles per gallon. So it won't make no sense to go spend fuel on that much fuel based off of 6.5 miles per gallon. You're overspending on fuel. That is cutting into your bottom line at the end of the week. You know, you got to get your calculations right. Running a truck company is a numbers game. It's playing with numbers. Use the numbers to your advantage. You know, there's nothing wrong with calculating your averages. I calculate my average on every load. And it's always a different miles per gallon I'm going to get, and I reset my miles per gallon gauge on my truck every time I pick up a new load, so I know on my way to the fuel stop what kind of miles per gallon am I getting. Am I going to be able to go get close to what I calculated that I was going to get? And if I'm able to get close to it, then that's what I'll put in. But if I wind up getting like 2 miles better miles per gallon on the way to getting fuel than I calculated, then I'm gonna go off that extra 2 miles per gallon, because there's no sense of putting more fuel in than I have to. So that's my take on fuel. I did have somebody ask me what was the average load. Comment on my videos, ask me what is the average load paying per mile, and I honestly can't tell you that. I don't know. I don't work the averages as far as the load pay, because if you get caught up with trying to stay above a certain amount, say like you're trying to stay above $3 a mile, those are a bunch of short runs. And you're not going to be able to make any money if you just keep doing short runs. You're not going to be able to, that's not where the money is. Those short runs, I save those for runs like, okay, this is the run that's near me that I can get home on. That is my short run. That is my $3, $4 load. And that may be going on the way down to Cincinnati. So I'll go ahead and pick that up because it's going home. So that's what I do. I don't go by the mile, what is the averaging per mile, what the load pays per mile. I go what it's paying overall. And right now, I'm going to be honest with you. Since the fuel prices went up, I used to be able to do like $600, $700, $800 runs and not hurt me on the fuel, and to still make a decent amount of money off of it. But ever since the fuel prices went up, I tried to stay above loads. I try to pick loads that are paying above $900. $900 is the cutoff limit. I will go pick that up because I can still go put fuel in the tank on that run and still make money off of it. I no longer pick up those Claiborne, Texas loads. Those are 44,000 pounds. There's no money to be made on those loads, so I stopped picking those up. So I don't do those loads anymore. I'll probably pick those back up in a more towards the winter when I want to be more down south than anything. That's what I do. I look at what the load is paying overall, because
you can stay with the $3 per mile, but they're only gonna pay like $300-400 to go 241 miles or 300 miles or 191 miles. You're gonna nickel and dime yourself to death. Where you're coming out at the end of the week, you're just probably barely making enough to cover your deductions and expenses. So, if that guy's still listening, that's how I do mine. I don't look at what the load paying per mile, because if you do that, you're never going to pick up anything that is still worth picking up. It's not about how much money you spend; it's about how much money you keep. So, yeah, I try to stay anything above 900 right now. That's what I do. And even if the load pay is $900, but I know the load I've been to that place and I know it's really heavy weight coming out of there, I won't go pick that up. I'll go back. No. So we're gonna give you a little story time. I'm not gonna say my dispatcher name, but we actually had an incident where I did turn down a load. I actually rejected a load about a couple of weeks ago. Here's what happened. So I booked a load going from Pennsylvania to Ohio, and dispatcher. Well, actually, no. You know what it was? He pre-planned me on some loads, and I seen that I wasn't going to get home until Saturday morning. And then the other problem was, since I was in Pennsylvania, it was a recycling paper load, and those loads are heavy, and it was paying only $700 and some to go take it from Pennsylvania over to Ohio, which is not that far. But since it was 43,000 pounds, I was not picking that up for no $700 and some. I was not doing that. That like 300 of that is going to the tank, and I'm left with 400, and I'm like, this is not even worth picking up. So I told him, I said, I'm gonna reject that load. And he said, well, if I reject that load, then I have to take you off the rest. So I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, that's fine. He said that was the easiest way to get me home. So he told me to look on the load board to see if I could find anything. Now I'm looking on the load board, I couldn't find nothing, y'all. I couldn't find nothing that was fitting what I needed. I needed something to go through my 34-hour reset on. I need something that I can go pick up. And there was nothing at that moment. So I found this load. I did find a load. Actually, I found a load at the last minute. I found a load going down that picked up here in Defiant at the terminal, and it was going down to Westchester, Ohio. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll pick that load up. So there he is. He's barking. You don't even know where he's barking at, but he's barking. Yeah, you tell him, man. You tell him. Yeah, you let him know. You let him know. It's the same thing. Yeah. See, he just goes and goes. At this point, he don't even know he's barking at. He's just barking. He's just barking. Anyway, so I found this load going down to Westchester, Ohio. I was like, okay, game. I'll go pick that up. I was only paying $400 something. I'm like, okay, I'll still go pick that up because it's on my way home. Westchester is about 17 miles away from home. I'm like, okay, dude, this load gets me home. So, okay, I get to make the delivery. I pick the load up, make the delivery, and I seen this load he put on me, but I wasn't paying that much attention. I thought the load that he put on me after that was like picking up somewhere in Westchester, Ohio, going up to Holiday City, Ohio. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'll go pick that up. And when I really actually looked at it, it happened to be like 71 miles going opposite direction. And I'm like, I ain't doing that. I'm like, I'm trying to make sense of my head, y'all. I'm trying to, like, you gotta remember fuel prices the way it is. I'm like, I don't know, y'all. I'm like 17 miles away from home. I'm like, do I really want to go 71 miles up the road just to go 71 miles, or whatever it may be, back home to go up to Holiday City, Ohio, which is like 200 or something miles, and the load is only paying $527 to sit on. I'm like, oh no, I'm not doing that load. I said, for one, I gotta spend 10 gallons going up to pick up the load, and I gotta spend about 10 gallons going back home. And I wasn't putting enough fuel into the tank yet. And then that wasn't counting the fuel I had to put in to get the load delivered that I would have left out on Sunday to deliver. So we're talking about 500, 200 and something miles. That is roughly going to take about 25 gallons, which is roughly going to take about $200 and something dollars in fuel. And I'm like, I'm left with $300 and something dollars. I was like, nope. I told them, I sent them a message. I said, this load, I'm rejecting this load. It doesn't make sense for me to drive home, be this close to home, and then drive 71 miles up the road. It's not compensating enough to be worth doing. So he wound up calling me, and he wound up calling me on. I said, nah. He said, what's going on? I'm not understanding the message. I said, okay. Well, I told him basically the load's not is not compensating enough to be driving 71 miles up the road and drive supposedly 69 miles according to the load assignment back home. I said, there is no reason to drive when I'm so close to home, to drive away from home just to come back home. And I'm like, he's like, I'm not understanding why I don't want you to get a habit of refusing loads. This is 2 loads you refused this week. And I'm like, well, I said, how long we worked together? How long we have worked together? We've been working together. I've been working with him for a while now, and those are the only 2 loads I rejected. That's the only 2 loads I rejected. I don't reject hardly any load he sends me. He usually sends me a load. I take it. I go make it work to my benefit. That's what I do. And even if it's a crappy load, I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll take it, whatever. I'm not going to give you a hard time about it. But this one, he said, well, he said, well, the problem is we really need this load picked up, and you're 71 miles away. And I said, I was like, I can't believe with this company being located in Ohio that they don't have an available driver somewhere that would be available to go pick up this load. He was like, well, we got drivers that could go pick it up, but you're 71 miles away. You're the closest. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. I am not going to go pick that up. I'm going home after this. I said, it doesn't make any business sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to pick up this load. I said, I'm sorry, but I'm rejecting that load. And another thing I must mention is I didn't book that load. I didn't even call him and ask him for a load after I found the load I found down in Westchester, Ohio. And I didn't ask him to book that load. It wasn't a load I booked. I didn't say, okay, I'll be willing to go pick that up. No, he didn't even call me and say, hey, I got this load I'm looking at that need to be picked up, but it's 71 miles in the opposite direction. Would you mind going to pick that up? And I probably would have negotiated something, I probably would have, say, hey, up that, maybe say, if you want to up the pay to like $900, then yeah, okay, I'll go pick it up. But yeah, that was not, he wasn't very happy with me. So yeah, we kind of got off the phone. We weren't happy with each other. I was just as frustrated as he with him as he was with me. But it all is well. I'm still working with him. So let's get into this tip. Tip of the week, guys. All right, so all you owner ops out there, you lease to purchase, and you take your truck in to get it to the shop to get your PM done, which I did for this truck right here, and about a couple of weeks ago. And my tip for you guys is ask for the invoice. Make sure you ask for the invoice to show to you what the work was done and how much they are charging your account for it. And take a really good look at that invoice and make sure you read over everything they supposedly did. So, because the reason why I say that is because when I got my invoice for the PM that I went and had this truck sent in for, I got the invoice back saying that they fixed the light, that my light on the truck that was out, but they didn't. They really didn't. It's not working again, so I don't know what they actually did, but it wasn't going to fix it. So I'll get that fixed on the next PM. Anyway, so he also said he took the truck down from 70 down to 65. Okay, everything checked out except for governing the truck down from 70 to 65. This truck, since I picked it up, never did 70. Never. It only did 65 on a cruise control. I can't even get 70 on a pedal. So I was like, why in the world did I get charged for a truck that was supposedly supposed to have been governed at 65 from 70 when the truck was already never did 70? So I was like, I was kind of It was only, they charged me like $40-something for it, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I should make a big stink out of this or not, but I did. I called. I didn't make a really big stink about it. I did call the person I need to call, and I told him, hey, we need to talk about this because I don't think I should have been charged for him resetting the governor when he didn't do nothing. So now Keller made it right. They made it right. That's the important part. They made it right. They put they credited back my maintenance account the money that was charged for the governing of the truck. But they did charge me for the rest of the PM, which is fine. So check your invoice. Make sure that you read over what they supposedly did and verify that what they supposedly did. And make sure you're not getting charged for something you know that didn't get worked on. There's nothing like wasting money out here. And when it comes to your maintenance account, you got to make sure you keep as much money in there as possible. You never know when you're going to need that maintenance account. It may, you may need it that you may be $42 of making a repair, and because they charge that account, you're $42 short on it. So now you gotta set up a payment arrangement, which is not a really bad payment arrangement. But yeah, that is my tip for you guys. I want to thank you if you made it this far in this video. I want to thank you to all my new subscribers. I'm up to 20 now. And I said I was going to create a lip sync video, which I will probably next week when I get some downtime. Which will be probably Sunday night, so I might do something Sunday night. I have to go sit at the receiver. So, yeah, I want to thank you for tuning in this far. If you are new to my channel, if you have a Class A CDL driver, I am looking for a new driver. You can be home every weekend, $1,200 minimum guarantee. No California, no Northeast, no New York City, no New Jersey, no Maine, no Massachusetts, no Iowa, Washington. You're pretty much just a Midwest, East Coast, guys. So if you're looking for a new CDL job, you want to be treated with respect, and most of all, you're looking for consistent pay, check out Synex Logistics, guys. Check it out. Give me a chat. Give me a chance to show you what consistent pay looks like and how you can really make money. It doesn't matter how much money per mile you're getting. All that matters is if you're getting it consistently. If you're not getting it consistently, then you're not making money. So, with that being said, keep the sunny side up, rubber side down. Until next week, I'll try to get at least one video uploaded every week. So, yeah, I'm out of here. Peace.